Hi, welcome to Cherie's Weight Loss Journey. Snoopy's here. She had to come with me for this walk. She was like, you're not leaving me. I'm like, but I threw away all of your coats that you didn't want to wear, right? And she was like, well, you still ain't gonna just leave me here. And I was like, okay, we're gonna dress her up like a horse, right? You know how they would throw a horse, throw a blanket over a horse, and keep them warm, right? Because the temperatures was in the 20s last night. Yeah, the temperatures was in the 20s last night. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not getting out there in that cold weather, right? And then today, I woke up and, my mind said, well, it's going to be cold all week, right? And even Thursday's supposed to be a chance of snow here in North Dallas. And I said, oh my gosh, if I don't just get out, I might end up with cabin fever. Hold on, okay? So yeah, I decided to go ahead. I made a deal with myself, right? I said, look, you can go ahead and do a grocery delivery order if you go for a walk today. And I was like, oh, damn, right? Okay, I can do that. So I made my grocery order, and now I'm out here to take a walk, right? I don't want to walk in the neighborhood because there's too many dogs, okay? Dogs be agitating my dog, and it becomes a tug of war. That's one of the main reasons why I don't walk in my neighborhood, because everybody in my neighborhood has one or more dogs. Okay, so we're gonna go walk somewhere else. Yeah, it's 44 degrees out here, and I really don't like looking at my dog, and she's shivering. No, I'm like, we're gonna put something on you, right? And this is just a quick makeshift. However, before everything is said and done, I might actually turn this towel into her actual doggy coat, because I was gonna throw it out anyway, or use it to wash her during her baths, right? It wasn't a towel that I used personally, is what I'm meaning to say. So I didn't know the school was in. See, that just goes to show you, when you don't have kids, it's hard to keep up with the times. It's hard to keep up with the times. But then, you know what? I had my share, of 30 years of being with the kid, with at least one kid in the house. Okay? And to be honest, the last 2 years of her adult life, she went to go live with her dad, and her dad was just furious. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to take you to court and make you pay child support. Don't you think that's fair? I said, yeah, that's fair. That's fair, right? So I paid child support of $650 a month. kept her on my medical because my medical was cheaper than his medical. You know, yeah, that's just how it ended up. Okay? But what I don't like, this is what I don't like. I don't like the fact that these men are not married and they're asking for women to give to them as if they're married. They're asking these women to hold on to them as if they're their potential husband, and yet they're laughing behind their backs like, ha 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 ha, you know, I never gave her the promise that I would marry her. She's a fool. Okay? And I'm like, yeah, that's true. You never promised. However, you know, you implied, you know, that she shouldn't be talking with other men. You implied that she shouldn't go out and, you know, check the market to see if there's a man out there that actually wants to marry her. Now you've been, you know, you've been eating all her goods and energy as if it belongs to you, and it's never going to go anyplace, and you don't give her nothing in return, not even a promise of marriage. Now, some of you, you might give her a promise, right? But you do it so tacky, right? You do it so tacky. You might have said it one day after a good round of sex, right? You know, I promise I'm gonna marry you. You gonna be mine forever. Right? That was the engagement proposal right there. Okay? That wouldn't work on me. That doesn't work on me. It will not work, you know, in my book. To me, that was just, you know, a reactionary, impulsive, you know, explicative. Okay? But, you know, I've been watching how these men who aren't married, you know, talk about what's going on in these dating situations, right? If you're not married, then you're dating, period. There's no, you know, we're in a relationship, you know, therefore, you know, we want to be, you know, exclusive, right? Why do you want to be exclusive? Well, men want to be exclusive so that they can tell the woman, hey, you know, let me hit it without a glove, right? That's what they want. And then once they hit it without a glove, then they put a claim on you, right? No, you're my property. You're my piece, right? And so she doesn't have the understanding that he is not offering him as a piece. Now, they might talk about it, right? She might be clever enough to ask, okay, well, if I'm your piece, you know, what are you to me? And he'll say, well, I'm your piece too. I'm your piece too. Right? And it's like, okay, so we done went through all of this effort to start off this relationship right? You go and get tested. You both show your clean bill of health. You know, you done went into each other's health portals and you've seen that neither one of you carry any, you know, incurable disease, right? But here's the thing. You can't trust men who will jump at any opportunity to have sex with a complete stranger or anybody that will give it up, okay? That they are going to stay clean, right? Because first of all, they don't want to walk around with a condom, you know, in their wallet or in their pocket or in their vehicle, okay? Because that would suggest that they're open, you know, to have, you know, random rendezvous, Okay? So it really pisses me off when I hear all of these men, start calling, single women, just women dating men, right? Not even guaranteed a long-term relationship. Nothing, not even roommates, right? Where they're sharing the bills or anything like that. But then they want to call them cheaters. They want to call them gold diggers. They want to call them, every bad name in the book, right? Because she wants to, keep her options open and maybe find a man that does want a true commitment. Because this applicant that she's dealing with, because if we're a business, he applied for a job, right? In our book, right? We just don't understand how come he don't understand the job description, right? And we could tell him what the job description is, and he's like, I don't understand. And you could ask him, what don't you understand? If you don't like your job, then let somebody else do the fucking job. And you're like, no, I'm gonna try better. I'm gonna do my best. Hold on. Come on. So, yeah. Then we have married men who aren't discussing marriage, but they're discussing with younger men about the type of relationship that they need to have when dating, right? And it just blew my mind because when I was growing up, dating didn't involve, having sex. Now, yeah, there were some women that were having sex, but typically when we used to say that we were dating, that meant, we were basically, getting to know each other. It was like an informal courtship, right? And then when we're dating and then we start, kind of understanding who we are in regards to the type of men that are in our environment, right? Because here's the thing, you can know totally who you are, right? Okay, say for instance, I'll use myself as an example. I'm an INTJ, right? And I'm a woman INTJ, right? I find out that I'm only 0.02 percentile of the population. And I'm like, oh my God, right? I'm so rare, right? All right. So then I'm like, well, that's cool. I look on and I'm reading on further, right? And they're stating that, oh, okay, there's only 0.05 percentiles of the population that I'm even compatible with. Okay? And I'm like, oh, okay, right? So even though I had accepted that, right, it's the people that come up against me all my life, right, telling me, well, you need to change this and you need to be that, and it just went on and on and on. And I tried to tell them, look, maybe you don't know who you are, but I know who I am, right? So, and I spent a lot of my life with men telling me that, I'm unrealistic. And I kept trying to ask them, if I'm unrealistic, why are you badgering me? Hold on. And I'll be honest, some men, they would badger me to the point where I felt compelled. I felt compelled not only to give them a chance, but to be performative, right? To be that submissive, domestic woman that they had envisioned me to be. Okay? Now, am I that for real just because I can do it and I could do it good, right? You won't even know it's unauthentic. I will. I'll know that it's not authentic, right? So, after a while, the mask starts falling off. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, you say something to me and I pop off. I'm like, what the fuck? Right? And then he's like, what the fuck did you say? And I get louder. I said what I said. Right? And then he's like shocked because he's like, what the hell? Where'd that voice come from? Right? And so, next thing you know, I'm in a power struggle with him, right? Where he's telling me that, he's the CEO of the relationship, right? So then, I'm telling him, you're a crappy CEO. You're crappy. You don't know shit. You're a dumbass. And you ain't all that. And they're like, but you like it when I lay it down. And then they hate it if you tell them the truth and you say, look, I didn't like it the first time. It was worse the second time. And I had to add up every round that we did to actually say, you know what? You're very good. You're good. Especially when, you go downtown. Okay? So, yeah. This was what I had to deal with. Right? And then, what I had to deal with my first husband told me, he was like, oh, if somebody rapes you, you better fight to the death. And I was thinking to myself, should I tell him that if I had fought to the death when I had got raped, I wouldn't be around here to even talk to him? Okay? So, I don't believe that women, should fight to the death. Now, if they want to fight to the death, that's their prerogative. This is a woman that will say, I'd rather die, than, submit and release my virtue to a man that doesn't even know me, doesn't care about me, and just wants to violate me. That's her business. Okay? Go this way. So yeah. Oh shit, it is cold out here. My God. Look at Snoopy in her makeshift coat. But she didn't try to take it off. She did not. Come on. Come up here. And that's the difference between her understanding that she gets cold. When she was young and feisty, right? She didn't want nothing on her. Nothing. Woo. She didn't want nothing on her. And she would be trying to pull it and chew it off and like, get this off of me. But I'm really surprised that this is the first time I actually put something on her and she's okay with it. So yeah, even my hands are getting cold. I was watching videos yesterday about people up north in Europe, right? One lady, she was in Scandinavia talking about how she's surviving. Well, three content creators I was watching, all of them were living in below freezing conditions, right? Because, we had 20-degree weather yesterday, and I wanted some tips or some ideas, on how do we go about, living. Hold on. How do we go about living in frigid conditions and still have, a satisfying, fulfilling life? Because technically, I just want to stay in my warm room and wait until springtime, hibernate. Just let me hibernate and I'll be fine, right? And honestly, if I was full-time retired and I didn't have to really go out, I would do that. I would stay in the house and just wait for springtime, or for the next tolerable day. Because not all winter, is where the weather's so bad that you can't tolerate it. Okay? So, today, since it was in the 40s, and that the highest it's going to be all week is in the 40s, and today we have some sun. See the sky? Today we have some sun. I'm like, okay, if I get out today, and then stay in the next 2 days, at least, I got out, and Snoopy got out, right? I mean, she gets out in the yard, right? But even she doesn't want to stay out there longer than 5 minutes. Okay? She'll get out for about 5 minutes and then come knock at the door. Look at the ducks. How pretty. Oh. And then come knock at the door telling me to let her back in. Okay? And I don't blame her. Right? That's a pretty doggy. Yeah. So, today was just going to be a small walk. I woke up late. I woke up, went back to sleep, woke up, went back to sleep, and then woke up another time, which is this time, and decided, just at least go out and take a walk, right? And that's what we did. And we like it, right? My fingertips are cold, even through the gloves. So, and my nose is starting to run. So yeah, at least it's just a short walk. Okay, baby. Puppy. It is cold out there. Now it's 39 degrees. So even just that little time I was out there, it dropped 5 degrees. Okay? So, woo! And I'm trying to figure out how come I'm not over on an island somewhere, right? Australia or any island that's warm right now. It was revealed to me that some of the Hawaiian and the French Polynesian islands are deciding to temper the cult of man misogynistic ways, and I was glad to hear that. I was really glad to hear that. Cause my was gonna bring it. Was getting ready to bring them some shit. And of course, they're a little bit more spiritual, because they so much depend upon Mother Earth. And let's keep it real. Don't we call Earth Mother Earth? It's feminine, okay? It is a feminine. So in order for us to actually be in harmony with the earth, we all have to be in tune to our feminine nature. Okay? Ooh. I tell you, I had to turn on my seat. What the hell? My fingertips are still cold. So, all of the deliveries were booked up for today. My delivery is coming tomorrow, which is fine. That's just fine, right? Let me talk about my diet yesterday. What I ate yesterday, I definitely had my protein shake. And then I had some baked sweet potatoes, and yeah, I had to sprinkle on the butter and the sugar and the cinnamon. Yeah, and it was so good. Okay, then I treated myself to some salmon croquettes and some beans, and that's pretty much what I ate yesterday. So considering, there was a lot of carbs, I did have to increase, the fiber content of my food when it came to the beans. Today, I still have some of the salmon mixture, and I'm gonna eat some of that, and probably a spinach salad. Mm-hmm. I also need to do my lightweight exercises. Like I said, I just kind of got up and got out. I'm like, look, it's mid-afternoon. If you don't get out now, it ain't gonna get any warmer than this. And so we went for a walk. We feel vitalized from all of this brisk, frigid weather. Right? Because we didn't have a choice. I'm thinking about whether I should go anywhere else before I head back into the house. And I'm like, I'm going to head back into the house. I still need to drink my protein shake. And then, later on, I'll cook my dinner. And then, call it a wrap. Wrap it up, right? Whew. I was looking at the latest and greatest Jackery that they have out now. They have this 5,000 watt Jackery that you can tote around on wheels, because that's just how big it is. It looks like the same size as one of those small refrigerators. And this Jackery has its own solar panels. However, they have an apparatus that will allow it to connect directly to your electrical panel and the solar panels that you might have on your house. And I was like, what? I watched it. I did, right? This was a guy that was doing a video, and he was actually renovating his rental property. He gutted it out completely. He had to redo, the walls and, the very structures, had to be replaced. And yeah, so I almost got carried away in watching his renovation project, and I was like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. And this was a guy that was working with two of his older male relatives that was helping him out. I guess they were also construction workers when they were younger, but they looked like they was like well retired, right? And I'm like, wow, when I seen the older men, I'm like, wow, it's rare to have, older men, truly mobile enough to actually do some work. Sure, they did it at a slower pace, but they were working. And they were a good help to this younger man that was renovating the rental property. So it was nice to see that there were some older men who were staying active and still, trying to, help the younger men, in their efforts, And of course they were Caucasian. Of course. Right? Because, typically what I see, amongst, the minority community is, the older men, they're busy chasing young girls or gambling and drinking and acting, very childish, like their longevity gave them the privilege of reverting back to their youthful, wanton, heathenistic ways. Hold on. So today, I'm wearing my Sharpa line sweatsuit. I also have, a thin sweat jacket underneath. So I'm fairly warm. Whew. But I don't want to stay out there in the cold. Too old to be doing that. So, hold on.